Just waiting on notification, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have an amazing guest with us, one who's going to give us some incredible information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our Brother Samuel Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, brother Joshua. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing phenomenal, sir. Thank you, first of all, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience, we want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the People's Podcast as we deal with such an important topic. Um, for those who don't know, about a month ago, I was in
Yes,
Phoenix, Arizona, and I had the honor of being on the white carpet with Brother Illy Rashad, Student Minister Halim, dealing with the reality of what is known as UFOs, baby planes, the wheels at the
yes, sir.
premiere. And Brother Samuel was a very important part and played a very important role to that trip, the planning of that whole weekend. So I wanted to thank you for your hospitality and the way you treated myself and the other believers, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Praise be to Allah. So the first question that we have for you, sir, is when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah?
Well, but first of all, man, I'd like to say, start off with in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praises belong to Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises due forever, and him raising up now in our midst the exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the two of them fashioning and shaping one that's in our midst, operating under their auspices, their mindsets. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I'd like to greet you and your viewing audience with the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Uh,
Walaikum salam,
you
sir.
you asked me, how did I come to the teachings?
Yes, sir. When did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Oh man, um, uh, my college days is what really triggered it. I was a freshman and sophomore at a historical Black college in Southern Ohio. I'm from the Cleveland area, and where I went to school, the historical Black college, Wilberforce University, is in Southern Ohio. It's about a 4-hour trip south of Cleveland, in between Dayton and Cincinnati. And there is where I was introduced to really the full um, scope of Black consciousness. Um, Growing up in Cleveland, my mother, bless her heart, she was active in the civil rights movement. I was born in the late '60s, so I'm a product of the civil rights movement as a late
Mm.
'60s baby. And then my father, he um, he was a sympathizer. Um, I didn't know that at the time, but I learned later he was a sympathizer to the nation. And I remember as a little boy, we used to get the Muhammad Speaks, but at that time I didn't know that's what it was. I was just uh, 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 excited about the pies that the brother would bring to the house, and didn't know that it was a bean pie.
Mm.
So in the early '70s, man, 70, 71, I was already being weaned into the teachings, but didn't know it. And then, growing up in the '70s and all that, you're hearing different things. But it wasn't until my freshman and sophomore year in college is when the Black consciousness began to really pick up steam, and it led me to on my spiritual journey. I didn't know the two were together. I thought if it was Black Panther, you Black Panther. I didn't know about the spiritual part of it because that's left out. And I grew up in the church. So with my parents, and there was my grandmother, and then my great grandmother. May Allah be pleased with them all. They kept us in the church, so I was rooted up in the church. But again, you don't know the correlation yet because one was kept aside from the other. So there's that gap that you're primarily stuck in, and you can't determine which one is the most fitting. So it was my again my introduction to the the pure, if you will, um, strand of black consciousness in my freshman and sophomore year in college, and then from there, um, my father, he passed away at the end of my sophomore year in college, and so I moved back to Cleveland in '88, probably the spring of '88. And then, but now at this point, I'm lit. I don't really understand what I'm lit with, but I'm lit. And everything that I had been learning up to that point from elementary school, junior high school, and high school was to me was it made me angry. I
Mm.
was one of those ones that was angry when I first heard the teachings, because I knew that there was something that was missing. And then when you find out what it was missing, and then you look back and you realize that you were lied to and deceived, you're angry,
Yes, sir.
and I think that was a common emotion with a lot of us who are not born in the nation, not that I wasn't born in it. But so for those of us who weren't born in the nation, when we finally hear the teachings, you're excited. You're excited, but at the same time, there's, you're a little hostile. You're a little, you got some octane in you, you
Yes, sir.
know, and it just needs to be controlled and tempered down, and where you won't self-destruct, but you will be able to be constructive to the awesome mission that the teachings and this revelation requires, right? So that's I had to learn that, though. You don't learn that right away because you're hyped, you're amped,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and so that's where the men and the body of people in the nation, that's where they come along to help, you know, in your fashion, in your shaping and molding of the person that you are aspiring and evolving to become. So that's when I met my mentor, Minister Brother Roland Muhammad. Um, Wonderful brother, wonderful teacher. You know what I mean? And I saw him, and I saw the brother. When I first saw him, I had already left college. I didn't finish college. I think I completed 3 years of college, and I had already got burnt out. Because I'm arguing with professors now, because I'm lit with teachings, no discipline, but I'm back and forth with professors. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, nah, this is not good. This is not good, because I don't want to come off as arrogant, because when you first hear this, you become a whole lot of things,
Yes, sir.
and you got to settle down. So I saw myself becoming very arrogant, and I'm like, man, this is not a good fit either. And so when I met Brother Roland, I was a barber then. I was a licensed barber, pardon me. And so uh, I when I saw him working, and that reminded me of my dad. My dad was a
Mm.
worker,
Mm.
and then, so I'm like, man, I gotta meet this brother. He out there painting, with a white shirt, bow tie, dress slacks, with a
Mm.
paint roller, painting the outside of the mosque building. That was right down the street from my barbershop. And so that was in the early 90s. That was around 92, 93. I joined the nation
Mm.
in 93. And so just fast forward, because I want to try to, not lose the context, but I want to try to give you enough context to kind of give you my journey, because the journey is so immense in certain areas.
Yes,
But
sir.
when I joined the nation, and the brothers, they embraced me, and it started me on the process. And man, here I am 30 years later, brother, and it's been it's been it has been an awesome ride in the sense that you learn so much about yourself that you didn't know, and you still learning about yourself, that because there's the plus and minuses of yourself. You're learning about the God in yourself, and you're learning about the devil in yourself. You don't notice at first.
Hmm.
You just, you just excited about the teachings, and you just want to go to work. You don't have any idea of what you really are in for, about the struggle of self. You don't know nothing about that part. You learn that though as you go, and then you go through the washing, you go through the fire, the brimstone, you get the beating, you get the washing, you get the this, you get the that, because it's burning off, as the scripture says, the dross,
Yes, sir.
which is the world that's purified. You don't know any of this at first. You're just excited, and so looking back, man, I wouldn't change any of it. You know what I mean? Even the when you reach the bottom low of yourself, I wouldn't change that, because you lean on the God. It forces you to lean on the God, and because you're totally submitting. Your ego, throw your ego out the window. The arrogance, throw all that out the window, man. You see what I'm saying now? You may feel self-defeated, man, but if you have that glimmering hope, that little mustard seed of hope, that, hey, Allah is going to see me through this, man, and that's enough to pull you back up. And I'm telling you, man, and that's just the ebb and flows, man, of the journeys in life, And so I hope I'm answering your question, because I don't want to stray too far with different areas and trying to give context, but I hope that I'm answering your question. But it was um, my foundation in Cleveland that has that started me on my evolutionary journey, if you will, to where we are today.
All praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. Beautiful. And thank you very much. And people are showing you love all around the world. Sister Miriam says, ASA family. Walaikum salam. Sister Naima. Walaikum salam. Sister Student Minister Aisha. Brother Nelson Ramos. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. Thank you all for watching. And Brother Hilario, I think this is his first time watching, says Brother Samuel is one of the flyest dressers in the nation. Hardworking brother as well. Praise be to Allah. Thank you very much. Okay, so we want to thank you for that context, and shout out to Minister Rowland in Cleveland holding it
Yes,
down.
sir.
Always a hard worker.
Yes, sir,
And
brother.
nothing but hospitality when I went to Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
Showed me nothing
Yes,
but
sir.
love. May Allah continue to bless
Yes,
him
sir.
and the
Yes.
believers in Cleveland.
Yes,
Shout out to the Superior Renaissance, everybody holding it down in Cleveland.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you, let's get straight into it. So we met on the basis of me being in Arizona for the movie White Carpet, answered the second coming of God, the reality of Master Muhammad, Muhammad, Muslim Farrakhan, and the reality of what is known or IFOs and things of this nature that the world wants to know about.
Yes.
You, to my understanding, you're going to explain it to us. You've had many encounters with
Yes, sir.
baby planes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you let us know? Let's start with the first one. What was the first encounter?
Man, Josh, it was a year ago now, February 8th of 2023, last year. I was driving back from Yuma, Arizona, which is right at the border of Southwest Arizona before you go into California. And I drive trucks now. Some of my Cleveland folks are probably surprised because they know me for over 30 years as a master barber. And I own a couple of barbershops. And so for me to be driving trucks now and not cutting hair anymore is probably a shift in dichotomy for some folks. But I'm driving back, brother. And It's in February, so it's this time of the year, but it's February 8th last year. And I'm driving back from Yuma on my way back to Phoenix. And it's nighttime. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening, so it's already dark. And I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but there's really nothing out there. There's a few dairy farms, a couple of big solar farms, and then other than that, it's open desert. And as I'm driving, and you're right along the border, so there's a lot of drone activity with the military because there's a Marine base right there in Yuma. Um, so there's a lot of military presence there. And so I'm driving and it's dark out there, so you don't really see nothing. And then you see this light. I don't think nothing of it at first. And then the messenger tells us in the writings, hey, don't bother yourself trying to look for the wheels. If the wheel wants to manifest itself, it will. And they do. But in this case, I'm driving and I see it's the only reality out there as far as lights are concerned. And it was a clear, starry night. The moon wasn't out. I guess this particular cycle, the moon wasn't out. But it's a clear, starry night. I mean, the Big Dipper is out, man. I mean, it's just the stars lit up the night sky. And I see this light. Again, I don't think nothing of it at first. And then as I'm driving, it's getting a little closer. Again, I don't think nothing of it. I'm thinking maybe it's a military drone. And I don't know, Brother Josh. Something in my mind says that's a wheel. And so, but I tried to dismiss that. I'm like, nah, I don't want to get carried away because I'm a commercial driver. I got to keep time. I have a clock that I have to monitor. Okay. So I'm driving. This light is getting closer and closer to me. And it was almost as if the light was communicating to me in a way. It didn't flicker or anything like that, but it was almost like the best way I can describe what came to my mind as it was getting closer. You know how you could be in a room, a big room, like a grand ballroom, and you're not paying attention, but somebody is beaming on you.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
you can feel it. You can feel them looking at you.
yes, sir.
That's the way. That's the vibe that I got from that light. That's the best. That's the first time I actually said it like that because that's how it felt. And then now you turn over and you see somebody looking at you and they turn away. But the wheel didn't turn away. The wheel was kept coming to me. And I'm like, so I pull over. I get off on the off ramp. Find a safe place to park. And I park. I get out my truck. And the wheel is steady coming towards me. And that's when I broke out the camera and started recording. Now, at that time, Josh, there was only one. And I would say distance-wise, from where I was standing to where the wheel was probably the length of a football field. So about 100 yards. Now, remember, now it's dark out. I can't make out my left and right, and I can't make out the depth of the desert because it's goes as far as the eyeball can see.
Yes, sir.
But at night, that's the only reality, okay? It's coming closer. When I start acknowledging what it really is, that's when activity begins to pick up with the wheel. It didn't do all kind of fancy dips and it didn't do any of that. But it alerted the rest of the wheels. Because now here comes a couple of more now. And they start emerging out of the dark like disco lights. You have the video, you saw it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's several of them that emerge. And I'm like, oh oh my God, I can't believe, and I'm just acknowledging them in a celebratory way. I'm excited. It's my first experience. Now, mind you all, now, I'm 30 years in the nation. I ain't never seen no wheel, nothing. I've seen results of the wheels, but I always believed in them. And I was never a skeptic. I just had never seen them. Well, Allah blessed me to see them. And when I saw them, I acknowledged them. And when I acknowledged them, that's when they began to engage me with the appearance, and then they would flicker out, then they would flicker back in, and then at one point where I was holding the camera, I panned it over here to the left, back over here, and when I panned it to the left, it was like 2 or 3 wheels had like came close to me, like within 50 yards. And that startled me because I didn't see, because they don't make no noise. They're very stealthy. They don't make no noise. You don't hear no whoosh sound. You don't hear no vibrations. You don't hear nothing. Now you see me, now you don't. That kind of thing. And I was just so excited, right? And you can hear that in my commentary. And then after several of them had appeared, as I'm narrating the video, I'm narrating, I'm just speaking off of my subconscious mind. I'm just talking based on what I've studied from the teachings and the minister's experience. That's when I told him, I said, hey, there's 1,500 of these wheels, baby wheels, on a mother wheel. And I said, I don't know where the mother wheel is. And the moment that I said that, about a quarter mile up in the right corner of that video that I shared you, the mother wheel flickers. She lights up. Josh, I lost it then. That's what did it for me. Now, some people say, well, how do you know it was a mother wheel? Well, how do you explain the timing of my saying it and then she lights up? And then when you look at that video, you see the babies, they're all amber in color, orangey amber color, right? The mother was not. The mother, as I tell a lot of folks, picture a chandelier, a crystal chandelier, and then take the center of the chandelier and then deck it with like ruby red, blue emerald, blue sapphires, green emeralds, yellow diamonds, and deck it going all the way around the center of it. That's what I saw when the mother wheel lit. And when she lit, because it was all communication with the lights. It was almost as it said, Assalamu alaikum, and then it flickered out. Meanwhile, the babies kept lighting, as you've seen in the video. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that was my first encounter, and it has been a lasting encounter. And it's so much. It's like peeling back an onion. There's so many layers to this revelation of this reality. It's been awesome.
Oh,
so thank you for allowing me to share that.
Yes, sir. And thank you. And once again, this is powerful. We look forward to everyone's questions and comments. Thank you all, people who are watching all around the world. We can't wait to upload to YouTube. People are bearing witness saying all praises to Allah. Alaikum salam to Deborah. Thank you all very much. I wanted to ask you, I often ask people who've had encounters, people, please go back and watch there's a playlist on the People's Podcast dealing with people who've seen baby planes, mother planes. We have a whole playlist of people who primary sources who've seen these.
Yes.
You fear. Were you nervous?
Okay.
Were you nervous? You know what I'm saying? You get out and you saying, I'm pulling the phone out. You wasn't shaking. Like were you shaking? Like, let us know.
That's a great question. There was some fear, but I was excited because Allah has blessed me to finally see them. And because I respect the power of what the wheels are capable of doing, and being able to tune up on your thinking. I Everything is happening in milliseconds. So I'm trying to control myself. I'm trying not to get too carried away. I'm respecting the presence of God.
Mm, mm, mm.
And so in that respect, I feared Allah and fear him alone. That was the fear. Everything else, Josh, was my adrenaline. It was controlled, but I was on cloud 10 in excitement and just unbelievable what Allah is allowing me. And I underscore allow,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
allowing me to witness. First of all, he could have did anything. He could have zapped me with a laser. He could have, they could have just disappeared. I mean, they could have did a whole lot of things, but they didn't. They Allah allowed me to record his presence.
Yes, sir.
And I'm always humbled by that. And I didn't want to disrespect that. And so that kept me in check the whole wow, even to date, even in sharing it. I'm excited to share it because it's just what it is. But man, yeah, you are a little frightened because we have the information of what these wheels are capable of doing. And then mainly, I'm like, okay, I don't want no crazy thoughts going through my head in the presence of God, man. I'm just gonna be real with you, brother,
Yes,
because
sir. Yes, sir.
we in a wicked world, and it's a filthy world. And so I ain't, hey, I'm still a filthy rag, man. So I'm like, okay, let me check this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, go. I don't want Allah to think what I'm just thinking right. I don't want that. So man, hey Josh, it was acknowledging the omnipresence, man, of Allah and his Christ, man. They are alive and well in power, man, on the wheel, flat out, flat out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, I got a question. Let's stay right there. 1 second, Brother Samuel. People are saying teach. This is Miriam says, thank you for sharing your experience and thank you all for watching. All praises to Allah.
Praise
Sister
be to
Angela,
Allah.
thank you very much. I wanted to ask you, did you see any beings, any humans, any shape, any silhouettes, any drivers, any what we saying? Like you see a color, you see lights, do you see any form, any arms, anything?
No, sir, I did not. Even the 2 or 3 wheels that came within about 50 yards to my left. I panned the camera to them. I couldn't see any humans. I know they're there
Yes, sir.
because
Yes,
I
sir.
felt their presence,
Yes, sir.
but I didn't see like no silhouettes of them.
Okay,
And
okay.
besides the babies, they were pretty brightly lit, so you couldn't even really make out their shapes, except for the 2 or 3 that came within 50 yards to my left. But even there, it it, I, it it was too far for me to really make out anything of a silhouette.
Yes, sir. And the sound, you said there was no sound.
They don't make no noise, brother.
Mm, mm.
You don't hear no hum. You don't hear no buzz. You know how you can hear air go whoosh?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
don't
sir.
hear nothing. You don't hear nothing. Now you see me, now you don't.
Mm, mm.
They're real stealthy, brother. And like I said, they didn't do like some people have recorded them doing formations and tricks and all that. They didn't
Yes,
do
sir.
any of that with me. It was more of a celebratory exchange. They were lighting up like disco lights, brother. I mean, ping, 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 ping all over the place. And I was like, man, it was like they were surrounding me, you know? And even when they would flicker out, the wheels have a the way that they is almost like a or like an organism. They have like a pulse, like
Mm.
your heart rate. They
Yes, sir.
pulse,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
so when they're not bright like the sunlight, when they're dimmed down, they actually pulsate. They pulsate,
Mm.
and then they'll brighten up. And then when they close out, they'll close out, and then they pulsate.
Mm.
It's incredible to watch it, man. It's incredible.
Beautiful. Okay,
Praise
yes,
be to
sir.
God.
And the color, is it silver? Is it like in movies? Close Encounter of the Third Kind, Fire in the Sky, Independence Day. Is it like you see silver and then lights, or is it just lights and no silver? Like what did you see? Was it black?
Well, it's nighttime. So if
Okay.
they are silver, I wouldn't be able to tell because it's dark.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and the experiences that I've had have all been at night. And so they all have that orangey, amberish glow. Um, you know, um, Josh, I gotta tell you, brother, this devil, he knows the reality. And so what they do, I read this years ago from the teachings, they hide a lot of truth in sci-fi.
Yes, sir.
Growing up, I'm like I said, man, I'm born in the late 60s. So I grew up in the 70s, bro. You know what I mean? Star Trek. I was fascinated with Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean?
Beats.
Lost in Space.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All those kind of shows, man, was appealing to you, man, because you're like, wow, you know what I mean? You don't know. And then, like I said, I grew up in the 70s. So, I'm listening to Parliament, man. You know what I mean? And George Clinton talking about the mothership. I said, well, man, is this it? I
Yes, sir.
don't
Yes,
know.
sir.
I'm in church. I grew up in the church. We singing Ezekiel saw the wheel. I thought it was a
Come on.
nursery rhyme.
Mm,
I thought
mm.
it was a nursery rhyme. I didn't know. I mean, because again, what they do, they mix truth with falsehood and have you all confused. And you get mixed truth over here, mixed truth over here, and then there's that gap. So you're
Yes,
trying to
sir.
figure out it's just mass confusion. So nah, man, they know how to keep you confused. So what they do, they take a little bit of the truth, and then give you this fantastic, uh, exorbitant. I don't know, man. Their imagination has just gone bonkers, and then they try to say, "Yeah, this is it." No, that ain't it. And after a while, innately, your mind would tell you that ain't real. Your
Mm.
mind tells you that because your mind, as a messenger tells us, man, our minds were created to think right. So your mind will tell you, wait a minute, man, they full of crap. That ain't real. Some of it is, but the other of it is a bunch of BS. You don't, so so no, I didn't see no metallic uh, descriptions because again, my experience has all been at night. But
Beautiful.
I know they are made of metallic. I do know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, excellent. And once again, thank you everyone showing love, and thank you very much, brother Samuel, for your transparency, your honesty, and sharing this
Yeah,
information, primary source information,
yeah,
eyewitness testimony with the People's
yes,
Podcast. We have a
yes,
quick 60-second commercial break for all of the
yes.
sponsors of the People's Podcast. We thank you all for every like, every share, every subscription, every anonymous cash app to the People's Podcast. Thank you all very much. We truly appreciate it and feel the love all around the world. Thank you
All
all for
praises be to
everyone who
Allah.
continues to support the People's Podcast. Thank you. 1 second.
Television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 disinfected cleaning services out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in a Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon.
Perfect. Thank you all very much. Okay, now we want to share a quick video, a brief video, because there was so much footage that we couldn't share,
Yeah.
20 minutes and all the minutes, but we'll give a brief video eyewitness from our brother Samuel of what he saw and witnessed with the wills, and then we're going to ask you to give us an explanation. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Yes, sir, brother.
This is amazing. Praise be to Allah. It's an honor to be alive in this time period where the teachings are being made manifest.
Yes, sir.
In front of our eyes. One moment.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Brother Samuel Muhammad here again. Second experience with the wheels. This time I'm about eastbound, back towards Phoenix. Two amber lights, very distinctly bright in the sky, right outside Yuma. Today is February 13th, 2023. You hear my truck idling in the background, it'll soon shut off. One of the wheels just pulsated out. There's two more in the foreground. If you can see that dot light, it just pulsated out. And the other wheel just pulsated out. I'm gonna try to drive down to get a closer view of where they are. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Excellent, sir. Excellent. Okay. Thank you all very much. And we got so many more questions for you, sir. Sister Aisha says, wow. Brother Kente, walaikum salam. Thank you, Brother Musa, our YouTube family, Sister Auntie, Sister Hope, everyone who shows love on other platforms as well. Excellent. Okay, so this is the second encounter you've had?
That's the second encounter.
Okay, yes, sir. Can you let us know what was going?
So let me set the stage on that one, Josh. That's a good one. I'm driving back out of Yuma. There is a mountain range where the wheel likes to hide out outside the city of Yuma. And this mountain range is called Fortuna Mountain. You can Google it. And there's a checkpoint right as you go back eastbound on the I-8 back towards Phoenix. It's a foothill region, and there's a checkpoint where they check for people coming back from Mexico. but you got to go through Yuma to leave out of there. And as I'm going up through the foothill, it's dark. I'm going around through the foothill. It's dark, so you have to have your bright lights on to see.
Yes, sir.
As I'm coming around the foothill, there's blind spot because it's carved through the mountain. Now again, the wheel like to hide out in this mountain range. Okay, so they see the wheels a lot down there. I didn't know that at the time. I do now. As I'm driving back through the foothill, there's a blind spot of the mountain. As I'm coming, I'm descending down. I'm on the highway, but I'm descending down like a off ramp. As I'm coming around the corner, boom, the two wheels that you just saw, I had a bird's eye view looking down on top of them. It startled me, Josh, because I didn't expect to see that. Now, as a commercial driver and even as a regular driver, you shouldn't have the cell phone in your hands, ladies and gentlemen. It's against the law. Cell phone usage in cars have surpassed drunk driving. This message is from your Arizona Department of Transportation. It startled me. I'm like, whoa. I'm looking down on top of them. The two. They were that low. Now, at that time, that was my second experience, and I was still new to the route. So I'm thinking that this foothill region of that mountain, I thought it had lights. It does not. So at night, when you're driving back on that same highway and you look over there, you won't see nothing. You don't know where the mountains start and where it ends. But those two wheels had that foothill region of that mountain area lit like a football field, like a Monday night football game. Startled me, Josh. So where you saw me, where I recorded that, that was a quarter mile from the base of that foothill. Now the truck is governed at 70. I can't stand on top of the accelerator to make it go no faster. I'm trying to get to the rest area. Hurry up, so I can get out and record.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I jump out. There's several trucks already parked in the area, and then there's a few pedestrian cars, and the people are outside the cars. I jump out. I'm blowing my air horn on the truck, trying to get the people's attention. And I'm like, hey, did y'all see that? Y'all see? Because they're low. They're probably as low as a high power electrical wire. That's how low they were. And I got my camera out now. So by the time you see their recording, they're probably about a quarter mile down. But before that, they were like right here. So I wish I could have, and it's just a wish, you're caught off guard. I didn't know I was going to see them, but Allah blessed me to see them and have a bird's eye view, because now instead of me looking up at them, I'm looking down on top of them. And they were bright, brother. You can't make out their shapes. They're so bright. But just the two of them had that entire foothill region. Just picture a Monday night. Well, you just had the Super Bowl. Picture a Monday night football game. That's how they had that foothill region, that mountain lit like that. It was incredible. It was incredible. All praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so now this is the first time I've done countless of interviews with people talking about baby planes, mother planes, and my grandmother, very fascinated with the reality of the wheels. Of course, both of my parents. So this is how we came up with, I've never heard no one say they saw down on, look down.
Yeah.
So
I was looking down on top of it.
So what is that? What does that view like? Put us in that mindset. What are you seeing?
you're you're amazed.
Mm.
You know, it's like you're speechless. Like, wow, you know, man, Allah blessed me to see them now. I got a bird's eye view on them
Mm.
versus them having a bird's eye view of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And again, they're so brightly lit, you can't make out their shape, but we know what they are. And as you notice, that road that I was standing on was actually the on ramp to get back onto the highway. So I was in a safe place.
Yes, sir.
And you saw the two off to the right.
Correct.
But when your viewing artists get a chance to look at that video again, off to your left, a little further up, you'll see two more wheels, but they're pulsating. They're pulsating as they're moving. So I thank you, Brother Joshua, for allowing me to share this on your platform for a number of reasons. Like student Mr. Halim was saying, that he wanted to re-strengthen the faith of the believers. You know, sometimes our faith get a little weary. You know, I ain't had a chance to see one yet. Okay, but believe though. Okay? Believe in what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was revealed. Believe it. Believe in what the minister experienced. Believe it. Why? Because, hey, it may be your turn, if Allah willing. So when you do get the experience, you won't make a mistake. And so I'm thankful that you allow me to share that because I want the people to see and examine behavior. The wheels have a behavior.
Yes, sir.
They don't really change that much. They have a behavior. The nature of the vehicle, they do things that draw your attention to them. And you be like, yeah, that's man, all praise to Allah. That's all you can say, man, all praise to Allah. Because they do some of the most phenomenal things. And the United States government knows all that. They've been tracking them since the 40s. I just want to segue to something real quick, Josh. You know, before I started driving the trucks for Kroger, I was in tourism for about 10 years. And one of the tours I used to go to frequently was over to Roswell, New Mexico. They have a UFO research museum. It's an active research facility.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And this is before I saw wheels. They've got, and these are all military photographs, military documents of them tracking the wheels in and out of the Earth's atmosphere, dipping in water, creating the crop circles that we see with those beautiful calligraphy type geometric drawings in the middle of cornfields and wheat fields, and the wheels do all that. The military has proof of all of that. They've seen them do it. And I sent you the still photo of the military tape of the going back to 1940, was it 1945, 1946?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where the Navy tracked the wheels 9,000 miles an hour. It shot from 16,000 feet up in like 2.5 seconds or something crazy. They know all of that, but they want to keep the American people and the people in general dumb. So people speculate, they guess, and they're guessing off of limited knowledge. So our responsibility as believers in the Nation of Islam under the divine leadership of the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan is to represent this reality in the best of fashion and understand, I'm going to say it again, that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, man, the Christ, is alive and well with Master Fard Muhammad on that wheel. Make no mistake about it. None. You see? And so I'm just happy and overjoyed to be alive and conscious to see the reality, bear witness to the reality, and acknowledge the divine presence of this reality.
And people are showing you love all around the world.
All praises due to Allah.
Brother Kelvin says he bears witness. Our brother Elijah, says they're only visible to who Allah chooses. Thank you, brother Elijah.
Yes,
And thank you
that's
for all
right.
your love. People saying, wow, what a testimony. They call it Element 115. Thank you, Kwani. Brother King says teach, and they never mentioned us, the Nation of Islam. Come on. Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Thank you all who are watching. Continue to show love to the people podcast. Continue to show love to our brother Samuel. Yes, sir. The next question I have for you is what do you think? From everybody who can go on Hulu, Netflix, they have all kind of documentaries on baby planes, the History Channel, the reality of UFOs, IFOs, whatever everybody wants to call them. We know the reality, mother plane, baby planes. But for those who don't know, what do you think the significance is about Arizona? What is it like? Like people talk about Tucson, there's so many there, and there's so many in Phoenix, and so what is the significance of Phoenix? I mean, of Arizona, like what is that?
Man, that's a great question, Josh. I'm still studying and learning that as we speak. Here's what I'm finding out, though, thus far, because I don't want to give people the impression that I'm some kind of scholar. You know, I'm a student first, and
Yes, sir.
always will be a student first.
Yes, sir.
And so I'll speak on what Allah blesses me to learn and know, and then what I don't know, hey, I don't know. But here's what I'm learning at this point. One of the things that I've learned is that there's a lot of military presence here. Phoenix has an Air Force base, a major Air Force base here, Luke Air Force Base. You mentioned Tucson. Tucson has an Air Force base, Davis-Monthan. The wheels are seen down there quite a bit. Where we reside, brother Ilya said to me that it's the 33rd parallel. I don't know much about that, but I take his word for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's a military base in Yuma, a Marine base, very big Marine base in Yuma. You have a naval yard in San Diego, which is only about 4 or 5 hours away. You're right along the Mexican border. There's a lot of wheel activity amongst our Hispanic brothers. They see them all the time.
I didn't know that. Okay, yes, sir.
Our brother Carlos Diaz. I've been following in his work, and you know, I don't know, Josh. It's something I'm still learning about this area, but Allah likes it down here. And like I said, that mountain range down there in Yuma. Well, you've seen the video. They the wheel like to hover down there and hide in that mountain range down there in Yuma.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know, brother. I don't know. But I tell you what, it's exciting to know that he chose this area, and I frequent these areas every day on my job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wonderful. Okay, yes, sir. And people are bear witness, brother. And we can't wait to people to watch it on YouTube and other platforms. So you can let us know. Sister Tara Muhammad says, praise be to Allah. We have proof. We see them almost every day. Great question. Thank you for coming. Yes, they like the mountains as well. We saw them in the mountains while we were on the plane. Beautiful. And yes, it is. Praise be to Allah. Thank you all for bearing.
Yeah.
Once again, I can't stress how blessed and honored and grateful I am to be in this time period. When I went to Arizona, everyone who hasn't seen the movie, we got to make sure we keep endorsing it. It was just a great.
It was, brother.
It was a great vindication for the believers.
It really was, man.
We're standing on solid ground, and
yes, sir.
To see, man, it's just beautiful. If you to have the truth, the knowledge of the true and living God in 2024, we're blessed and honored. So I'm always grateful, and people are bearing witness. Wasn't the messenger visited by the angels in Arizona? Sister Aisha says, Mother Sanetta, Muhammad introduced Carlos Diaz to us in LA. Beautiful. Thank you, Minister
Mhm.
Aisha, for always having the great
Oh,
history.
sister, man, hey, man, listen, I'm gonna keep my word. I'm gonna say it on national broadcast. I'm gonna keep my word with Sister Student Minister Aisha, because
Yes,
I
sir.
want to have the videos that I sent you. I want to have it for her as well, so she can, because we've talked about it. We parsed some of it.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful sister.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And thank you, Kwani, for saying all praise be to Allah. And it was a great movie. And thank you, Sister Tara. Thank you, everyone who's watching. All right.
Hmm.
My next question, sir, is trials in life. What has been the greatest trial you faced, and how have you overcome that trial?
Woo, there's quite a few of them. These trials are made to purify us. You don't know that at first. You're like, oh man, I'm catching hell. But what we have to learn, and it's the teachings that help us to understand the significance of the trial.
Mm.
The trial is meant to purify you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Period. Point blank. Yep. You're gonna catch some hell. It's hot, Jack. It's hot. Okay. Take the sledgehammer, pound the mess out you. But it's reshaping, remolding you,
Mm.
because the nigga in you has to die.
Mm.
It has to die. And so the trials are meant to cleanse you up from those nigga states that you carry. Cleanse you up from that.
Yes,
Because
sir.
some of us is kind of slick. We still got that, that thing about us, yeah, stop it. That's baby language, and that's baby-like behavior.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So here comes trials, and some of them are big, some of them are small, some of them are almost insignificant, but it's still something that's part of the cleansing and the
Mm.
purification.
Mm.
I
Mm.
would say, Josh, I've had many, but I would say, man, probably the one that sticks out the most was when I had my barbershop down in the plaza. Brother Roland had the Blue Seas fish. The other believers had a herb store, Brother Johnny and Sister Joyce. May Allah be pleased with Brother Johnny. And I had the barbershop. I mean, man, Allah blessed me to have a very successful business.
Mm.
I'm a young brother, man, in the ranks. I'm a young man. I'm in my early 20s,
Mm. Mm.
23, 24 years old, but Allah blessed me to have my own business. And, you know, I fumbled. And in the fumble, you trying to get it together, but it slips. And then you think you got it. Then your ego is all in the way. You arrogate yourself, and you just make a fool of yourself, man. And trials started coming, and I didn't pass the test on a few of them. And you know, but again, it was all the while I was being purified. I didn't understand it at first, but Brother Roland, Minister Roland, he helped me to understand it to the best of his ability. But when your ego is in the way, you don't hear so well.
Mm. 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 Yes, sir.
And so you think you got it, but you don't. You stub your toe, you say, I'm gonna be all right. All the while you limping,
Mm.
you
Mm.
gimpy, you don't have it. And then you ain't prayed and asked Allah nothing because you think
Mm.
you got it. And
Mm.
so he allows you to waddle in your mess until you exhaust yourself, basically, and then fall flat on your face. Then you confess.
Mm.
And so at this time, it was right around the time of the atonement. And so, yeah, I would say it was that time, and I had a lot of different trials come my way in that barbershop. I had that shop for a little over 5 years, and I had some trials, man. But I wouldn't change any of it, man, because you had to go through that because it's all in the process of humbling you.
mm, mm.
You know, there's an old saying, your arms are too short to box with God.
That's right. That's right.
You knock yourself out, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You knock yourself out. Yeah. And yeah, man. Yeah. I wouldn't change any of it, man, because it helped to shape and mold the brother who you see now. And I'm not even nowhere where Allah wants me to be, but I'm on my way with the help of Allah, brother.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. People are bear witness and showing you love all around the world. Thank you all very much.
All praise to Allah.
The Mimi says, thank you for the spirit, for the consistent, righteous content. Thank you, Mimi. Thanks, Sister Mary says, thank you, Brother Samuel, for sharing your experience with the wills in detail. This is wonderful, Brother Keen. Teach, Brother Samuel, Brother Kwani. Absolutely. Thank you for your transparency, God. Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Excellent. All right, my next question for you, sir. Your greatest joy in life?
There's a lot of them. I'm gonna keep the list short. Number one, to come into conscious reality of Master Fard Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Number one. Two, thankful to my parents for birthing me in this dispensation of time to be able to recognize these three. Third, man, the birth of my children. The birth of my children. I have a son and two daughters. And there's a lot of other joys, but those are the most significant.
Excellent. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Brother Samuel, may we have your parents' names for the record?
My dad, I'm a junior. So
Okay.
My dad's name was Samuel Ezel Sr., and I'm Samuel now Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
But I'm a junior. I'm a junior. And believe it or not, believe it or not, Josh, my middle name, I don't use it often. My middle name is Leonard.
Okay.
Boy, did I say that before the world.
Yes, sir. And your mother's name?
Diana.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes,
My
sir.
mother's name is Diana. Yes.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Wonderful. All right. Now, you spoke earlier of George Clinton, Parliament, the Mothership Connection, but I always ask our guests, what type of music do you enjoy listening to, sir?
Oh, man, Josh, I knew you were going to ask me that, man. You know, whatever the spirit moves me, man, most of the time I'm in a reflective mood because I drive a lot. So I listen to a lot of classical.
Okay.
Growing up, I went to a really good high school and they had orchestra. So I learned the appreciation of the classics. But I'm old school, man, to the bottom of my heart, brother. I grew up, you know, that 70s music, man, was the heart and soul of my upbringing.
Okay.
Then there's gospel. And then my dad was a singer. And so he come up in the doo-wop era. So, you know, I like good singing.
Okay. Yes,
so them R&Bs, man, the Motown, you know
yes,
what
sir.
I mean, the doo-wops and the gospel. And then he introduced me to jazz, my dad. So, you know, I listen to a lot of jazz. So it really depends on the spirit in which I'm in. And then of course, you know, I remember when hip hop was born, that was a pastime for us, hip hop. It wasn't called hip hop then, it was just called rap. But, you know, to watch it evolve to where it is, man, it's been really interesting. You know what I mean? But that was a pastime for us, rapping, DJing, breakdancing. That was a pastime for us, man, in the 70s and the 80s, you know? So, yeah, but it depends on the spirit in which I'm in, man, the mood. But yeah, I got a pretty immense collection, brother. You know what I'm saying? You can't really get too much by me, brother, that I don't know it.
And thank you, Brother Nasir. Says, yes, sir. 70s. Assalamu alaikum salam. Okay, we have two more questions for our guests. And once again, thank you to everyone who continues to show love on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything, all the platforms that continue to show love.
All praise due to Allah. Thank you all, man.
Yes, sir. And I wanted to ask you about your faith. 1993 is when you got registered, correct?
Yes, sir.
1993 is 2024. How important, what advice would you give to the future generations about how important your faith has been in sustaining you and how important your faith has been connected to now you're seeing the reality of baby planes and the mother plane? How important has your faith been to your journey?
Well, it's been everything. You learn as you walk, as you do this work, you learn the value of faith. The scripture says that faith without works is dead.
Yes, sir.
So if you're not doing nothing, you don't know nothing about faith.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Um, you learn the value of your faith and the significance of your faith and the direction your faith will take you when you involve yourself in the work.
Mm, mm, mm.
So you can't get cocky, even though we do. But then there's a picture in the scripture where I forget which disciple it was, took his eyes off the master.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he started to sink. A lot of us sink like a rock because you get arrogant. That disturbs the continuity of your faith, and it'll have you veer off because you think you know it now. And you just got it. You just got this. Now you know.
Mm.
You, as Brother Minister Rose tell us, oh, now you're a bean soup scientist now. You still don't know how much onion to put in and how much garlic to put in that thing, man, let alone the turmeric.
Yes,
So
sir.
no, man, you wanna make sure, man, that you stay humble and ask Allah, man, to help you in staying humble. And when because your trials are going to come, you can't avert that. They're going to come. Every believer is tried at least once or twice a year severely.
That's
so
right.
You can't, I don't care if you hide up under a rock, that rock eventually going to be your trial because you hid yourself. So come out of it, man, and come out of the shadows, man, and face the reality of the duality that's within our nature, man, which is the God force titillated by the devil. Because the devil will tell you, he says it in the Quran, he said, I just suggested it to you. You the dummy that fell into it. It's the devil now. So the devil lets himself off. So no, man, you want to stay humble and understand that your mere belief counts for nothing unless you are carrying it into practice. Now, for those of you who are listening to me, I'm not no preacher. Remember, I'm a student first. But I've been around some tough preachers, brother. I've been around some tough ministers. So all praise to Allah. I hope I answered your question, Josh.
Yes, sir. You absolutely did. And once again, before our last question, I want to thank everyone who's watching and let you know that I felt your spirit and we appreciate the brotherhood that we shared when we were in Arizona. Not just
Man, it was
I was
wonderful.
there like 4 years ago, and I met you and we spoke, and then
Yep,
this time,
we
so every
did,
time is
man.
nothing but
All
love. You
praises
know, I
due to
continue to
Allah,
bless
man.
you
Yes,
and your
sir.
family on behalf of myself,
Likewise,
my family, and
man.
the Viewing Artists People's Podcast. We thank Allah
Yes.
and your many sacrifices, and we thank Allah for the sacrifices of your family. So shout out to your
Thank you,
children.
sir.
Everyone let
Likewise.
you know that we thank Allah for them. Your legacy, sir. What would you like your legacy to be?
Uh-oh. Here's where the humble pie comes in at. With the help of Allah, man, my legacy is still being formulated. I feel like I haven't done enough. But if Allah was to bring me back to him and puts a period on my life at this point, I would like for my legacy to show a brother who love Allah, love his Christ, love their Messiah, and has committed himself to see their work resurrecting our people from this enormous amount of death and destruction that pervades us, man. I want to be found in the work of the resurrection. That's what I would like to, because it's ongoing. Yeah, it's ongoing. So
Yes, sir. What a great legacy to have. And once again, thank you very much. I know that people, are you on social media? How can people reach out to you? Because I know people have so many questions for you. Can they reach out to you?
yes, I was on Facebook, but the devil kicked me off after 15 years.
Mm.
They didn't like what I was sharing, but I was only sharing what my leader and teacher shared. So whatever, devil. But they can follow me on Instagram. I don't even know what my Instagram handle is, but you just look for Samuel Muhammad and I should pop up. And I'm also on Twitter. Well, now it's called X. And they can follow me there at Samuel Muhammad. So those are the only two platforms that I'm on currently.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Well, I want to thank you for bearing witness to the teachings the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and just a great, primary source and breakdown of the mother plane. A lot of people, I've interviewed so many people dealing with baby planes, but I think you might be the first one who said you saw the mother plane. So that's an excellent.
Man, Josh. Well, you have the video yourself, so
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I know you've been like, wow, brother, this is something. And it has been, this journey has been something, brother. I see something different every time I go back and look at the video. I see something different every time. And it's been just incredible, man. It's like reading the Quran or the Bible, and the teachings, every time you go back into it, you see something different.
Yes, sir.
So that's what this has been like.
And Brother Samuel, so we only played one video because of the time limit. But if people see you will you be at Savior's Day? Can you show?
Yes, sir, brother. I'll be at Savior's Day. You better believe it, man. Motown bound. Here we come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So if for all of the believers who would like to see the extended version, because he has so much stuff on Telegram, I'm like, I can't play the whole clip on podcast because of the length. But please make sure that we all come up and see the brother. He has great footage. And it's bearing witness to the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's taught
I'm sorry, Brother Josh. Yeah, let the brothers and sisters know if they're on Telegram, the files can actually fit on the Telegram better.
Yes, sir.
The larger videos. And then when I'll be glad to share the videos with the brothers and sisters. Absolutely.
Wow. Beautiful. Well, this is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Thank you, Brother Samuel Leonard Muhammad. Thank you all for watching. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, and happy Savior's Day, everyone.
Happy Savior's Day. Thank you all for watching. Also, Brother Samuel, my mother went to Wilberforce, so shout out to Wilberforce.
All right, there she go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yes, sir. Represent. All right, assalamu alaikum, family. Beautiful.
Wa alaikum salam.